Hello there, it's me, Ellie Kate. Hope you're all well, my friends. It's Friday, so another reading. But first, I want to talk about my up and coming book, Miss Kathy Fry and the Island Mysteries. It's about an amateur sleuth who is called on by the Shale Police to help solve 8 different murders throughout the island. And we follow Kathy and Sergeant Squibb throughout the stories. But there is one thing that's in it. There is a hidden story within the thing that will end up in the last story. You'll find out why everything is all happens at the last story. So if you're into murder mysteries, I should highly recommend that you check out my new book. It's my first murder mystery, and I wrote it to see if I could do it really. And I think I have, because I'm very, very interested in like amateur sleuths and things like that. And the story that I'm going to read out is actually also connected to the same area that Kathy, my book's based on, because Kathy lives on the island of Shale, which is loosely based on the Isle of Wight, where I have deep connections in, very deep connections, very deep. My family, I think you can trace a line of my family back like since 1500 and something through that, and we go there quite often. I've been going to the Isle of Wight since I was born, 4 times a year, every year. So that's good. So if you're into murder mysteries, amateur sleuths, and everything else, she's very independent. She's hardworking. She's mother of one. She's the niece of the superintendent of Shale. That's why she gets called in. Superintendent of the police force, I should say. So yeah, so check it out. Hopefully it'll be out by the end of the year. It's in the process of being edited, so yeah. So check it out. So, shall we get started? The story that I'm going to read out to you today, is something that I've never really heard of. Though because I'm from the Isle of Wight, it quite shocked me. I was just scrolling through Facebook one day, and I came across a video which was about folklore. And something popped up that I wasn't quite expecting. And it was called The Gooseberry Wife. And it was a Isle of Wight folklore, which I never even heard of, which I found it fascinating. So this inspired me to write my own sort of little story about it. So here you go. I've called it The Folklore of the Gooseberry Wife. I never believed in folklores. They were only fairy stories, aren't they? Something to warn children, to teach them the dangers of the world. Ghosts and strange mythical creatures were just that. Things made from demons and dreams and nightmares. My own local folklore is the strangest of all. A creature so obscure and unbelievable you could not believe a creature could ever exist. Known as the Gooseberry Wife, a fat, ugly, giant, hairy caterpillar who lives within the gooseberry patches across the Isle of Wight. A benevolent creature used to warn children not to pick or ripe gooseberries. And like my mother, she was also used to scare children into good behaviour. As a child, my mother would often remind me, as I went off to play, not to travel too far through the large patches of gooseberries and pick or ripe fruits, because if I did, the gooseberry wife would lead me deeper into the gooseberries, and I'd end up losing my way. I never took heed to what my mother would say. As far as I was concerned, there was no such thing as a fat hairy caterpillar known as the gooseberry wife. If there was, I knew I would have come face to face with her by now. Time after time, as I shut the door to our small cottage, I'd make my way down to the patch of small green berries that line the edge of the woods between my cottage and the woods. I would meet my friends and we would dare each other to see if we could provoke the gooseberry wife. Each in turn picking unripe berries. Time after time, after picking baskets of unripe berries, we would walk back home as the moonlight guided our way. Unharmed and untouched, which proved to me folklore should stay where they belong, in fairy tales. This was until one day when folklore became reality. It was late when I made it out to play. My mother would only allow me to leave the cottage until my chores were all done. The sun was low in the sky for the time of year, and all my friends had been called back to their homes. So I was left alone to walk among the grown gooseberries. The further I walked, the more overgrown the gooseberries became. It reminded me of the thorns that surrounded Sleeping Beauty's castle, as Prince Philip had cut them down. But unlike Prince Philip, I had no need to be cutting down my maze. I just made my way through, travelling deeper into the patch, picking gooseberries along the way. With no one to dare, I took it up on myself to pick and eat as many gooseberries as I possibly could. I ate so many that my stomach started to swell and I could barely move. My eyelids became so heavy that I had to make myself comfortable for the night. There was no way I would be able to make my way out of the maze with the sun leaving the sky to make way for the moon. I nestled myself into a bed of large patch of gooseberries. My eyes closed as I made a silent prayer that my mother would not scold me for staying out all night. Soon I drifted off to a gentle sound of the night, leaving the human world behind me. When I woke up to a horrid, curdling voice that seemed so unreal. "What are you doing in my patch?" The voice came out from nowhere. The dark was still with only night creatures cooing. I said, "What are you doing in my patch?" Me? Yes, you. Something hard hit me in the side. "What are you doing in my patch?" Sleeping, her? More like stuffing yourself in fat with gooseberries. Another hit to my side made me get up from my makeshift bed. "What right do you have in taking my gooseberries?" "What do you mean, your gooseberries? No one can claim these fruits. They are everybody's. Is that so?" "Yes." A large shadow loomed over me. "Who are you?" "You don't know who I am?" "I thought everybody knew who I am." A voice crackled from the dark shadow that stood in front of me. "I wouldn't be asking if I'd know, would I?" My voice was slow and steady, but my legs were giving my fear away. "Well then." The moon's softened beams showed the shadow's true form. A long, green, bulging body swelled with each breath it took. Long hairs covered it entirely. It was the ugliest creature I had ever seen. Its face wrinkled and squashed as if it was the face of an old woman, framed by a silk scarf. A wooden smoking pipe stuck out from the corner of its mouth, puffing out smoke as it spoke. "I will tell you who I am. I am the spirit of the patch, keeper of the fruit. I am the one that children should fear if they pick unripe fruit." Its large leg poked me hard in my swollen belly, making me keel and heel over. "I am the one known as the gooseberry wife, and you, my dear, have disturbed my patch for far too long." I don't know what you mean, I managed to breathe out. Mean? The gooseberry wife lifted me up to face her, blowing a face full of smoke at me as she roared in rage. I have watched you and your friends steal from me, baiting me with unripe fruit. You believed that I did not exist. Well, another face full of smoke. I am here to tell you. Now, I exist. She flung me back to the ground. Now, my dear, start running. I turned on my heels and with great speed I ran. Run, my dear, run. Her voice crackling over the silent dark. You will repay me for all the fruit you have taken from me. There will be no place to hide from me. Keep on running, because when you least expect it, it will be repaid. I made it out of the maze before I heard the thud crunching gooseberries behind me. I ran as fast as I could. And this is where I am today, an old man, running for my life in fear the gooseberry creature will soon get me. I can never go home. So hear my warning: if you venture into a gooseberry patch, do not eat and bait the spirit of the patch, because some folklore isn't not just folklore, it's true. So there you go, my version of the folklore of the gooseberry wife. I hope you enjoyed it, and it ties with the Isle of Wight, as I just said. So look out for my new book that's coming, Miss Kathy Fry and the Island Mysteries. If you love, as I said, if you love murder mysteries, it's the one for you. Also, please, if you buy my first book, The Nature of Trouble, if you're really into vampires and werewolves, this is the book for you. I've been told by people that have read it, they can't put it down. So please buy it. It's $7.99 on Amazon. Thank you. Right. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to this video. Share it if you wish. You do whatever you will. So please, it'll be all helpful. Thank you. Hope you have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you next Friday with another video. Bye.